Hello students, welcome back to your science class. So students, in the previous class, in this chapter that is tissue, we were talking about that of the tissue only, and we have seen that what is a type of a simple permanent tissue. Basically the simple permanent tissue is what? It is that type of a tissue which will include the three different types of tissue there, and that is parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. If we talk about that of the parenchyma and collenchyma, students, we have seen that both of them are what? It is living, but sclerenchyma is the dead one. Now coming to the next type of a permanent tissue, and that is complex permanent tissue. Talking about the complex permanent tissue, so the different types of a tissue which we have discussed until now, they are made up of a one type of a cell which basically look like each other, and such kind of a tissue are called as a simple permanent tissue. Actually, in case of a simple permanent tissue, they are made up of only one type of a cell. But in case of a complex tissue, they are made up of a more than a one type of a cell. That is why the name is given, that is complex tissue. Okay, so simple permanent tissue is the tissue in which only one type of a cell is present there, and in a complex permanent tissue only we can say that more than a one type of a cells are present there. Okay, so all these cells that will going to coordinate to perform the common function, and collectively they will make the complex permanent tissue. So we can say here that the simple permanent tissue is what which is made up of a one type of a cell, but the complex permanent tissue is that in which more than a one type of a cell is there which will going to perform the different kind of a function, and collectively they will form the xylem there. Okay, collectively they form the complex permanent tissue. Now, if we talk about the complex permanent tissue itself, students, so they are basically divided into two different types. The first one is the xylem and the second one is the phloem. Okay, xylem is what? Xylem and phloem are what? They both are the complex tissue, and they both actually is a kind of a tissue which used to conduct the substance from one to the other. Okay, that's why it is also called as a conducting tissue. Okay, so both of them are what? It is a conducting tissue and they constitute the vascular bundle together. Now, the vascular or the conductive tissue is a what? It is a kind of a feature of a complex plant in which one is having, one is that which made possible the survival in the terrestrial environment. And it is, see, the conducting tissue, if we talk about the xylem and phloem, basically the case of a xylem, it used to carry the water and mineral from the roots to the different part of the plant. And in case of a phloem, we are knowing that it is the way, where it used to carry the food and the other substances to all the different parts of the plant. Now, started with that of the xylem, students. So xylem is what? Basically it consisting of a tracheids, it consisting of a vessel, and that of the xylem parenchyma. So xylem tracheids are what? Tracheids, vessel and parenchyma. Actually it is the xylem vessel only or the xylem tracheid only which is responsible for carrying out the water and mineral. Basically these are what? This is the conducting thing which used to carry the thing from one place to the another, or to one part to the other part of the plant. While in case of a xylem parenchyma, these are the living cells which basically help in giving the exchange of the material can take place with this. There is a xylem fibers are also present. Actually these xylem fibers are what? These are the sclerenchymatous tissue, and which is what? Basically dead tissues. Okay, so sclerenchymatous tissue are called as the xylem fiber, and they are the dead cells. That's why they help in giving support. Now let us see the function one by one. Starting with the first one, the cells have thick wall and many of them are the dead cells. Yes, basically if we talk about the both of the element of the xylem, we will find that the xylem is what? It is consisting of the, it is made up of a cell which is having thick wall, and when you look at the cell, these are basically dead cells are there. Tracheids and vessels are there, and tracheid and vessels are tubular structure. And basically they allow the transport of the water and mineral from the roots to that of the stem to the shoot. So if you look here the first one, so first one is what? That tracheids and vessels. These are the tube-like structure, tubular structure. Obviously, since it have to carry something, so that is why it is a what? It is a tubular structure or a tube-like structure it is. Also, it allows the transport of the water and mineral vertically. Yes, the movement of the water, the movement of the mineral take place with the help of this tube-like a structure only, which we call as a trachea and vessel. Now the parenchyma is there. The parenchyma help in storage of the food, and also it help in sideways conduction of water. Yes, the parenchyma is also there, student, and the parenchyma is what? Basically, the parenchyma is there in order to store food, and also it help in the sideways conduction of the water. So it help in the conduction of the water. So basically the parenchyma is there, and this parenchyma help in the storage of the food and help in the sideways conduction of the water. Yes, so role of the xylem parenchyma, it is a living one. So basically it help in the storage of the food, and obviously that will also help in the conduction of the sideways conduction of the water. Now xylem fiber is also present here. So the role of the xylem fiber is what? You know that it is made up of a sclerenchymatous tissue, right? And since the xylem is made up of a xylem fiber is made up of a sclerenchymatous tissue, so they will help in providing the mechanical strength, because we know that the sclerenchymatous tissues consisting of the dead cells that will help in providing strength and support to that of the plants. So fibers which is of a xylem fiber, they are mainly supportive in function and they help in giving support to that of the plant. Okay, so this is what these are the four different elements of that of xylem, which will include the trachea, vessel, xylem parenchyma and xylem fiber. So except that of the xylem parenchyma, other all are what? They are the dead cells. So no such storage will take place. Only the storage will take place with that of the xylem parenchyma. So as you can see here, in case of a trachea students, you will find that there are small pits are present that we will going to discuss later in detail. So in case of a tracheids, it is found in gymnosperms, and in angiosperm xylem vessels are there. Xylem vessels are quite good in conduction of the water and mineral, although trachea is also responsible for that. Now you will find here that in this one, tracheates are having the pits as well as the vessels are also having the pits. Now these pits are responsible, and not only this, when you look at the upper part student, you will find that there are perforated plates are there. Now the role of the perforated plate is what? Basically it helps in the conduction or that of the movement of the water and mineral can take place easily with that of the vessels. So tracheas are there, or the vessels are consisting of the pits through which the movement of the water and mineral can take place very easily. Okay, so this is the bit. Now see here, in case of a xylem parenchyma, you will find that it consisting of the nucleus as well as cytoplasm is also present in it. So having nucleus in it and the cytoplasm, making it a living cell, and due to which the exchange of the material can take place from it. Okay, so that is what? That is the xylem parenchyma. Now let us see in case of a phloem. So phloem is what? That is also made up of a four different types of element. Four types of the element is also a part of the phloem. And when you look at it, sieve tubes, companion cell, phloem fiber and phloem parenchyma. Sieve tube is there, companion cell is there, phloem fiber is there, and phloem parenchyma is there. Now you will find that except that of the phloem fiber, all of them are what? It is a living cell only. Now sieve tubes, when you look at the structure of the sieve tube, so they are what? They are the tubular cells, and which consisting of the perforated walls. Okay, so look at the structure of the sieve tube here, students. Sieve tube is what? It is a tubular cell. Tube like a cell is there. Tube like a cell is there, and this tube like a cell is consisting of the perforated plates are there. Obviously the role of the perforated plate is to carry the food and the material through it. Okay, so that perforated plate we called it as a sieve plates also. Okay, so sieve tube is consisting of the perforation here. Now along with the sieve tube, Now see here, in case of a phloem, here in case if we compare the role of the phloem with that of xylem, we will find that in case of a xylem, it is a unidirectional only, but in case of a phloem, it is a bidirectional. It means the movement occur in both of the direction. Okay, now see here, then when the food is prepared, then it will be transferred to the shoot and to the root of the plant also. While in case of the xylem, the movement occur only in the from the root to the stem of the plant. So this is the unidirectional movement, but in case of the phloem, it is a bidirectional movement. Okay, so that's why we can say that the movement of the phloem is what? It can move in both the direction. Now, phloem what? It used to transport food from the leaves to the other part. You know that, yes, the role of the phloem is what? Is to use to carry the food material from the leaves to the other part of the plant, except that of a phloem fiber. Now, what is the role of the phloem fiber? Phloem fiber are what? They are the sclerenchymatous tissue. Again, see here. In case of a xylem, we have seen that except that of a xylem parenchyma, all other are the dead cell. While in case of a phloem fiber, we will find that it is basically all of them are the living cell except that of a phloem fiber, and the role of the phloem fiber that it will help in providing strength and support to that of the plant. Okay, so basically phloem fiber is there to provide support to that of the plant. Okay, so this is about that of a xylem and phloem, students. See here in this picture you can see that this is the phloem, and the phloem is what? Basically you can see this is what? This is the one phloem, and the phloem is attached with that of the companion cell. When you look at the companion cell, it is attached with that of the phloem fiber only, to that of the tube-like structure, which is a sieve tube, and the companion cell is consisting of the nucleus, so it helps in giving nourishment to that of the sieve tubes. Okay, but both of them will play a very important role in carrying the food and minerals to one part to the other part of the plant. Okay, so basically it helps in the conduction of the food and mineral from the one part to the other part of the plant. Now in case of the phloem, you can see here, in case of a xylem, you will find that there is a xylem fiber, there is a xylem vessel is there, student, and the vessel will help in the proper conduction. Okay, so this is about that of a xylem. And when you look at the structure, now see here, this is the sieve tube, a tube like a structure which is having the perforated plates here. This perforated plate is what we called as the sieve plate. Along with it, there is a parenchymatous tissue is there, which we called as a phloem parenchyma, and a companion cell. What is the role of a companion cell? Basically, companion cell help in providing nourishment to that of the sieve tubes. Okay, so we can say here that both of them are responsible for carrying out the food and other substances from one part to the other part. Now let us move on, and yes. Now see here, student, till now we have understood that what is a plant tissue. Now let me remind you again what are the things that we have studied till now. One is the meristematic tissue and other is the permanent tissue. Meristematic tissues are those which keeps on dividing. These are the ever dividing cell, and the permanent tissue is the tissue which stops dividing. Permanent tissue is that tissue which stops dividing and which forms the which become a permanent. It means now it is not dividing at all. It loses the power of the division. Now in the case of a permanent tissue also, it is also divided into two different types. One is the simple permanent tissue and the other one is the complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue is what? Basically it is also again divided into parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchymatous tissue. Okay, while in case of a complex permanent tissue, while that of the complex permanent tissue, it is divided mainly into xylem and phloem, and xylem and phloem are having their own element. On the basis of that, the transfer of the substances can take place. Okay, so this is about that of the plant tissue, students. Now moving on, and we will see and we'll start with that of the animal tissue. Yes, even when you see, student, when the contraction and relaxation of the, suppose when you start breathing, what you will find? We will find that our chest is moving. Okay, we will find that our chest is moving. Okay, so basically why it is moving? It is because of some of the specialized cells are there, and these cells are called as the muscle cells. So basically it is the muscle cells which help in the contraction and relaxation, and this contraction and relaxation is responsible for the, it is result, or it is responsible for the movement of the animal tissue here, students. Okay. Yes, the muscle fiber, the muscle is also divided into 3 different types that we will going to discuss later. But till that, we must know here that not only this, okay, what happen when you start breathing, not only the muscles will start moving, but when you inhale oxygen, this oxygen will be carried out to the different parts of the cell, right? And it will be carried out with the help of the blood. Now again the function of the mitochondria is also there, which that will going to perform the process of a respiration. Now after that, even when we used to eat something, or even the waste which is collected, it will be again carried to the liver or through the kidney for disposal. Now see here, the blood and the muscle, both are what? Both are the good example of the tissue which is found in our body, and basically they used to perform the different kind of a function. And on the basis of that, we had classified the animal tissue also into 4 different types. One is epithelial tissue, second one is connective tissue, third one is muscular tissue, fourth one is the nervous tissue. Okay, so these are the 4 different types of tissues are there. Connective tissue, blood is actually a connective tissue, while the muscle, if we talk, that will comes under the muscular tissue. If we talk about the nerve cells, it comes under that of the nervous tissue, and there are a lot of different cells are there which is specialized, which used to perform the different kind of a function, and we had included it into that of the epithelial tissue. So let us start to understand all the tissue one by one, starting with that of the epithelial tissue, student. Okay. If we start with that of the epithelial tissue, students, so you can see here epithelial is what? Actually the term came from the epi. Epi means the upper one. So the covering or the protective tissue in the animal body, that we called as a epithelial tissue. And epithelium is what? Basically it helps in covering most of the organs and the cavities which is present in the body. It also forms a barrier to keep different body systems separate. Yes. See, the epithelial tissue is basically present everywhere. It helps in giving protection to the animal body, as well as it will be there present in most of the organ. It helps in covering that of the organ, even the cavities which is present in that of the body. Now if we're talking about the skin, students, so skin, lining of the mouth, lining of the blood vessels, even the lung, alveoli, kidney tubules, they are what? They all are made up of a epithelial tissue. This is a very important line to know, that skin, lining of the mouth, lining of the blood vessel, lung, alveoli and kidney tubule, they all are made up of a epithelial tissue. Okay, so they all are consisting of the epithelial tissue here. Now, when you look at the epithelial tissue structure, you will find that it is what? It is a kind of a continuous sheet which is tightly packed, and they have only a small amount of a cementing material which is present between them, and there is no intercellular spaces are present between them. Okay, so materials are present there. These materials help in cementing, and these material, there is no intercellular spaces are present in it. Now anything which will be entering or leaving the body must cross at least. Okay, now see here, the epithelial tissues are what? They are basically tightly packed, and they are like a continuous sheet. Okay, so very small amount of a cementing material is present between them, and you will find that there is actually no intercellular spaces are present there. Yes, that is why it is what? It is a continuous sheet here. Now anything which is leaving or which is entering, obviously it will going to pass through that of the epithelial tissue here. Now see here in this one, you will find that the So obviously there is anything which will going to enter or leave the body, it will going to cross that layer of epithelium, and because of that the permeability of the cell of the various epithelia, it will going to play a very important role in regulating the exchange of a material between the body, as well as it will also going to help in the external environment that will occur between the different parts of the body. Now, if you look at the important role of that of the various epithelial tissue student, that it help in regulating the exchange of the material between the body and that of the external environment. Also, it is present at the different parts of the body. So we can say here that basically the role of the epithelial tissue is that it makes the cells very permeable and also help in the exchange of the material. So everything that exchange of material which will going to take place here, it will occur with the help of the epithelial tissue here. Now there are different epithelial tissues are also there, students. If you look at it, see, there is a very important thing that we must know about the epithelial tissue is that all the epithelium, doesn't matter what kind of or what different types of epithelial tissue it is, all the epithelium is usually separated from the underlying tissue by an extracellular fibrous basement membrane. So there is a proper basement membrane is there where the epithelial tissue used to lie. Okay, so extracellular fibrous basement membrane is present there where all the epithelial tissue used to lie. Now, if we talk about the different kind of epithelia, so basically different structures are there which used to correlate with the unique function. For example, if we take an example of a cell which is lining blood vessel or lung alveoli, so you will find here that the epithelial tissue which is present here, that will going to help in the exchange of the material, that is also responsible for the transportation. Okay, so lining of the blood vessels, it is what it is. It must have a permeable surface so that the simple diffusion process can take place, and this will happen when there is a simple flat kind of a epithelial tissue will be present there. So if we talk about the lungs, where the process of the diffusion will take place, especially in case of alveoli, there is a simple squamous epithelium is present here. So a simple flat kind of a structure is there, epithelium is there which is permeable, that is called as a simple epithelial tissue. Now see here, students, that in cells lining blood vessel or lung alveoli, where transportation of substance occurred through a selectively permeable surface, there is a simple flat kind of a epithelium is there, and this is called a simple squamous epithelial tissue. Okay, so this be called as a simple squamous epithelial tissue. Now if we talk about the simple squamous epithelial cell, students, so you will find that they are extremely thin, they are flat, and they form a very delicate lining also. Even if you look into the esophagus and the lining of the mouth, that is also covered with the squamous epithelium. Okay, so esophagus is what? It is a food pipe which is basically covered with that of the squamous epithelium. Now the skin which protect the body, that is also made up of a squamous. So what is the important thing that you must know is the location of the different epithelial tissues. Talking about the simple squamous epithelium, we have seen that the lungs, the alveoli where the exchange of the material take place, esophagus, lining of the mouth, and skin, both all of them consisting of the simple squamous epithelial tissue. Now skin is what? Skin epithelial cells, they are arranged in many layer also in order to prevent any kind of a wear and tear, and since they are arranged in a different pattern of layer, now see, when it was a single flat like a structure, a base like a structure was there, a single flat like a structure, that is called as a simple squamous epithelial tissue. But if we talk about the skin, student, so skin is what? Consisting a lot of a layer, and this layer will help in preventing the wear and tear. So in order that there are different patterns of layer of epithelial tissue are present there, and this we call as the stratified squamous epithelial tissue. Okay, so there are two different types of tissues are there. The first one is the simple squamous epithelial tissue, and the second one is what? It is the stratified squamous epithelial tissue. There is no difference. Difference is of the different layers are present. In case of a simple squamous epithelial tissue, you will find that it is what? It is made up of only one simple flat kind of a epithelium there. While in case of a stratified squamous epithelium tissue, we will find that there are many layers which basically arrange in a pattern of arrange in a different pattern, and that will constitute the stratified squamous epithelial tissue. Okay. So this is the difference between the stratified and the simple squamous epithelial tissue, student. Okay.